Greetings, Earthlings. Midnite Miles here. For those of you who don't know me, I am an astrologer, an intuitive empath, and a Heyoka shaman medium. I'm here to let you guys know because I've been getting massive downloads for the last 3 days. The next 2 days are going to be huge. Something big is coming. Now, I know everybody is saying this. Okay, you know, we've got the presidential election, the age of Aquarius, and it feels like the end of the world, right? But I'm here to let you know that there is another gigantic planetary energy boom coming at us right now. Right now. Okay, so previously in 2019, there was a pre-warning, and everybody was kind of put on notice when we heard about the triple conjunction of Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. To recap, whenever Jupiter and Pluto get together, you have a tendency to see plagues. And so this is how we knew COVID was coming. And then whenever you see Saturn and Pluto get together, you get a changing in the banking industry as well as any kind of infrastructure, right? This is known. This has been noted. And when those three got together, we got exactly what we thought. We got COVID, we got the economic shutdown, and we got the restructuring of our world. And I'm here to tell you right now, there's another one coming, and it's coming tomorrow. So before I show you the chart, all right, I'm going to give you guys a little small lesson on delineation and a quick history lesson. Let me pop in my crystals. It makes download and communication a little bit easier. Okay. Where do we begin? America's founding fathers were absolutely, for lack of a better term, Freemasons. They were educated men. Our entire birth chart, America's birth chart, was intentionally designed. Okay? If you go back and you actually read it and you're familiar with things like the Bohemian Babylonian stars and the basic principles of magic, you can go through our chart and you're like, oh wow, these guys knew what they were doing. To include the fact that every single 4 years we have a presidential election, which also coincides with leap year and the Sothic cycles, and presidential turnover is on the 21st. The reason why is because traditionally that is the first day of Aquarius, Aquarius being change. Now, planetary rulership. Before they could see Uranus, Saturn was the traditional ruler of Aquarius. Okay? Saturn is, they call it the big malefic. It's also the black sun. There is a theory that early on, Saturn was actually the ruler of Leo. When they were talking about the sun, they weren't talking about Helios, the big sun. They were actually talking about Saturn because Saturn used to give off a corona. But that's an entirely different lesson. Fact of the matter is, Saturn's a big deal. It's such a big deal that it only opposes the sun and the moon. What do I mean by this? And we'll get into delineation. Every single planet controls 2 signs. Not every planet. The traditional 5. Like, for example, Mercury has Gemini and Virgo, right? Venus has Taurus and Libra, right? It's their day face and their night face. The sun and the moon, the luminaries, they each only control 1 sign. All right, the sun is in control of Leo, the moon is in control of Cancer, and that is it. The opposite of Leo is Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. The opposite of Cancer is Capricorn, once again ruled by Saturn. So you could say then we have the beginning and the end. This shows the relationship between Saturn, the sun, and the moon. Okay? Another important delineation, all right, is that of Venus, right? Because Venus controls Taurus and Libra. And right now, Uranus is currently in Taurus, Mars is currently in Taurus, and the moon is currently in Taurus. So you have this this energy right now that's happening. First of all, the lightning bolt of Uranus and Mars being exactly conjunct at 6 degrees, that's coming. All right, and it's exactly conjunct right now the moon, which is also in Taurus. So you have this energy grid. You have this direct line energy of Uranus, Mars, and the Moon. Now the Moon affects the general public. You can see this everywhere, including the word lunacy. The word lunacy comes from the word luna, as in the moon. They know that whenever we have a full moon, okay, things are going to go up, like sales, violence, people's tempers go up. So right now we've got a beautiful little emotional lightning bolt that's hitting the entire public. Uranus right now is also the current ruler of Aquarius. Okay? And it's at 6 degrees Taurus. The other ruler of Aquarius, the great mover, the one that just moved into Aquarius, is Saturn. Saturn and Jupiter are now in Aquarius. Saturn is at 3 degrees. Jupiter is at 7 degrees. The sun just moved into 1 degree. Right? So the sun is embodying the energy of Aquarius in its entirety. Mercury is also in Aquarius. If you're wondering where Pluto and Venus are, we'll get right back to that. Pluto and Venus are in Capricorn, which is ruled by what? Saturn. Okay? So you have this whole circular effect that's happening. Let me take you to the grid to show you why. This is the next big boom. And there's a cosmic plan here. And forgive the additional noise. My bad. My neighbors are right next door, and I'm shooting outside. Give me a moment. All right. So let's take it to the tail of the tape. Here we have the Great Conjunction, which is I'm calling the Great Mover, which is Saturn and Jupiter. Now, this was the great event, right, that happened right at the end, the beginning of Capricorn, or right at the beginning of Aquarius, where we have this conjunction here. It has now also moved into conjunction with the Sun. And if we're using a 10-degree orb, a little more than a 10-degree orb, it's being embodied in Mercury. Now, Mercury is mass communication as well, especially for the internet. Aquarius is the internet. So whenever you have Mercury and Aquarius together, we're talking digital. We're talking global, right? The internet, communication, things like this. Also, America's moon, America being a Cancer, America's moon is in Aquarius. So all of this energy right now, all this Aquarian energy is being embodied. We come across the aisle here, and directly square, okay? And square energy is dynamic energy. It can also be considered contentious or hostile energy, right? It's kind of like Aries, right? Saturn is directly square Uranus. So the two rulers of Aquarius are exactly square each other. Meanwhile, Uranus out here is exactly conjunct Mars and conjunct our moon. So you have all of the Aquarian bodies right now lined up. Here in the middle, bridging the gap, because there's an out-of-sign conjunction, but they're still both ruled by Saturn. Pluto brings up the rear, still technically conjunct Saturn and Jupiter. It is also conjunct Venus. Everybody is doing the same thing, okay? All of the energies are lined up, and they're all lined up right there at the new beginning of the age of Aquarius. Down here, a little astrology lesson for you. Whatever sun sign we are in, the Earth is in the opposite sign, right? So if we are currently in Aquarius, that means the Earth is currently in Leo, Leo being ruled by the sun. So we have this Leo-Aquarius line. If we come over here, I've drawn it out like this, we have a double helix effect because the energy of the sun and the moon are spiraling around each other, with Venus and Pluto holding together the thread. Now, listen, that's a lot of technical information, so allow me to translate briefly. Okay, important points. If you're calculating the stock market, and this is known, this was studied by one W.D. Gann, All right. If you're calculating the stock market, you're going to want to look at the Venusian cycle, Venusian arc cycle, and the lunar arc cycle. So the relationship between the sun, the moon, and Venus has always been tantamount to anything going on in civilization, and especially anything going on with the markets and currency, and especially here in America. Little history lesson, if you read a book called Who Built the Moon, that's how we actually get the foot, right? Thomas Jefferson actually looked at the arc pattern of Venus, compared it to the sun, the distance of the moon. A lot of math comes out of that. Math that builds up America's birth chart. The sun, the moon, and Venus are all in alignment with all of the external planetary bodies right at the beginning of Aquarius, in the emerging age of Aquarius. Tomorrow's gonna be big. I don't know what's coming. I can't tell you what's gonna happen. I know that there's gonna be some sort of major effect that's going to affect the stock market. Is it gonna be a boom or is it gonna be a bust? All right, I would say that it might be a boom. But the reason why I'm not feeling so good about that is because I don't like that Martian energy. I don't like that aggression, right? Now you have to understand, what's bad for the public is good for the investor. And here's why, right? Whenever things go bad for us, well, what's that saying? Buy cheap, sell high, right? So when everything, like let's say the stock market, for example, drops, like we've seen, like we saw earlier with Corona. If you have the money, if you are an investor, if you are big corporate, you're going to start buying things up. This is a great time for a financial shift. This Mars moon matrix that we have going on, though, that says something about the public. So that's actually making me think that there's going to be something coming, something big. Now, we know about the Trump-Biden election. We know what's going on here. Anybody who's big on QAnon, or anybody who's just big on red or blue side, it does not matter. Okay? Everybody knows some shit's about to pop off. 26,000, and by the way, that's not an accidental number. 26,000 troops are currently in Washington, D.C. That's weird. The corona vaccine just came out. It's debatable, right? There's a lot of polemic around it. Okay, I'm not telling you what to do. Me personally, I'm not getting it. All right, I'm already quarantined. I'm healthy as can be. My girlfriend's a nurse. We're solid. There's a lot of side effects. Something's coming. The big mover is about to move. And you heard it here first. Well, technically you didn't hear it here first because everybody's saying it. Which is actually why I almost didn't make the video, because I'm not trying to jump in on a hot topic. Like, not to be funny, I'm not exactly I don't like to follow the crowd. I'm contrarian. I got a lot of Aquarian in my chart, but I've been getting massive downloads as a medium for the last 3 days. It's been waking me up in the middle of the night, and I've literally been getting flooded with information. I have more notebooks around my house than the set of Mad Men. I feel like Don Draper, if anybody were to come look at my notebooks, they would either think I'm an astrophysicist or I've officially cracked my nugget. And I'm here to tell you, it's a little bit of both. Big change is coming. The writing is literally on the wall. What are some things that I think are happening? Well, beyond the market, I think there's a lot of starseed awakenings that are happening, a lot of spiritual awakenings. That veil got popped open. I can tell you that because I can feel it. And for the last couple of days when that energy's really been lining up, I have been going off like a Christmas tree. My third eye and crown chakra have been lit up. My body has changed. The way that I swirled that around, it looks like there's a DNA upgrade coming. That's the real big upgrade. We're changing, folks. Collectively. So, welcome to the age of Aquarius. And get ready, because I have a feeling it's going to be a bumpy beginning. But when you think about it, so is birth. When you come through that canal, it's not exactly the most calming of experiences. In fact, just a little extra for you. The birthing process is actually what wipes out your Akashic memory. Okay? Coming through those gates, right? The gates. Coming through those gates the trauma of that, just like being shaken from a dream, is what wipes out all your old memory. I want to let you know that babies in utero contain their entire soul structure, and they know exactly who they are. Kind of like that movie Look Who's Talking Now, you know, Bruce Willis. They know who they are. Whenever you come through the gates, that's when you get the data wipe. I think we're getting our memories back. We're reconnecting with our spirit, we're reconnecting with soul so that we can move into this next age, but it's going to require an upgrade and overhaul of all of our old systems, which we are totally seeing here. And it looks like it's starting off economic, but things have officially moved into the public, and it's hitting all of planet Earth, and it appears to be a solar DNA upgrade in correlation with a market change. Long story short, it's going to be great for some people, it's going to be terrifying for other people, and it's going to get messy. Just like birth. But then afterwards, we will be into the new world. So this has been Midnight Miles, bringing you the Astro News. Look forward to talking to you guys again soon, and remember, rule number 1, don't freak out. Rule number 2, be grateful. Rule number 3, see rule number 1. Y'all keep calm and carry on, and I'll keep you updated. Y'all live long and prosper, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Midnight logging out.